So that's how I...
Oh my God! Moving on.
Francis assures me that he's saving the big guns till last, but I'm not entirely convinced. So I'm representing the United Kingdom. Hello. Are there any English in the audience? I saw one hand. No, I'm the only Englishman in the room. And coincidentally, I'm the only Englishman in the Capcom office as well.
Do you like Doctor Who?
Apparently I have to like all things British. Matt is convinced that I eat tea and crumpets for breakfast every day, which is absolutely true. Our time is short, so I'll try and be as quick as I can. So my career started in the UK.
Actually, we're good.
Oh, we're good?
Yeah, take it.
In which case, I'll be really slow and extend.
So English.
So English. So, let me get comfortable and tell you a story. I went to university, which was nice. It was the north of the UK, so it's quite cold. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, very much like a lot of these members of the panel, but I had a huge passion for video games. Despite my parents wanting me to go into engineering, I thought, no, I'm going to stick to what I know. So I tried my hand at programming. So I thought, yeah, I can do this. Programming's a doddle. Had a good background in maths, so I went to university and started studying programming specifically for games. So it was a university specifically geared up towards getting people into the industry. 3 years later, I soon realised that I wasn't the world's best programmer, and my strengths were elsewhere. But very much like Mark, I finished strong. Yeah. And finished strong. So I finished my degree, which I was really pleased with. Had a great time. I would encourage everybody to stay in school if they can and finish up. It was a fantastic experience. So from there, as I said, all of my peers were fantastic. Like everybody in my class was doing these amazing things. I was like, oh Jesus, what am I going to do? I'm stuffed. So I tried my hand at QA. So as for many of these people, that was sort of the foot in the door to the industry. And again, I would very much encourage anybody who gets an opportunity to do it, to try it for sure. It can be a lifelong career, as Mark has made it through the ranks, or for many it can be a foot in the door to numerous other divisions of gaming. And again, I think in summary from what all the panelists have said, it's a super small industry, and all of our departments work really closely together. And that was the case for me whilst I was in QA for a company called Javits. I don't know if you guys have played RuneScape, that weird browser-based MMO. Yeah, I can see some hands. It's really weird. So the first year and a half of my career was spent talking about why Zezima has lost his sword in some obscure forest, and I thought, no, this definitely isn't for me. So I tried my hand, or slowly got my hand into different departments. So again, it's having that can-do attitude. Like even if you can't do it, you definitely can do it. Yeah, I can do this thing. Senior Vice President? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. But no, seriously, if you don't think you can do something, Google is your friend. You definitely can do something. So I tried my hand at almost every department that would let me. So I started working in the community department and quickly found my way into the world of community. And then from there, managed to find my way, coincidentally, into the world of marketing, which is where I am now. So it's really hard. Being in this industry is really hard. It's not as glamorous as you might all like to think. I was before I left to join Codemasters, I was still working in QA at Javits, and we were in crunch, like big time. I was the first person in the office every morning at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'd open the office, I'd be the first person there. And one morning I set the alarm off and I had to explain to the police what I was doing at a games company at 4 o'clock in the morning by myself, with milk and porridge in hand, ready for breakfast. So by no means is it as glamorous as we all like to think it is, and I'm sure all of these guys can attest to that. So now I'm working in the marketing department. I was in Codemasters back in the UK for a little while, working on Operation Flashpoint and Dirt and Grid and all those great franchises there. And that's where the majority of my working knowledge from marketing came from. And again, be to Mark's point, be an eternal student. Always make sure you're learning, even if it's If it's formal or informal, I went back to get a formal marketing qualification because I didn't have any. My background was in programming. Make sure that you're, even if it's not a formal education, make sure you're always learning from someone. Just pester someone, get feedback from someone. You know, you don't always know everything there is to know, but there's always things to improve upon. What else? Oh, so there wasn't really much from the panel, because there isn't any here, from a production standpoint, and I know there's probably some, you know, programmers and a lot of indie developers out there. I hate to promote other people's, but the Greenlight program by Steam is fantastic. You know, make your own job. How cool is that? How many industries can you say, oh, I'm going to go out and make my own job today? I'm going to create something so fantastic that people are going to want to buy it without having even got their hands on it. It's a rare opportunity. So, you know, if development is something you're interested in, get heavily involved in that Greenlight program. There are some absolutely fantastic titles on there, and I think that will continue to grow over and over. And again, another plug for Steam. There was a recent, you can get your pen and paper out now to write this down. There was a guy called Chris Fazalek, I believe his name was. He's a guy from Steam, and recently he gave a fantastic presentation, very similar to this, on how to get into the industry, and it was very focused on the development side of things. It was hosted by Eurogamer, so I'm sure the Google machine will do all of the work for you there. But yeah, definitely check that out to get more of an insight into the world of games development. I think that's about it, Francis.
Other than Carl's brand that he's working right now is DMC.
Oh, here comes the plug.
And it's available January 15th.
On which platforms, Francis?
Xbox and PS3.
And where can you pre-order the game from, Francis?
GameStop and everywhere.
Absolutely. You can pre-order the game on Amazon, GameStop and Best Buy.
There you go.
Sandy and I have been working tirelessly on providing you with the best pre-order assets and packaging. Oh, sorry, hang on. I'll get to that. With the best pre-order items. We've got some fantastic pre-order weapons for DMC. Please come down to the booth, get hands on. I know there's a lot of skeptics in the audience, but what is Dante's hair in different colour? Yes, there are some excellent assets due out. We've got a DMC panel as well. Come to that on Sunday. Make sure you check your schedules, you won't be disappointed. And yes, please. Oh, don't start. So we call sweaters jumpers. So I was in the office the other week and I was like, oh, I'm really hot, I'm going to have to take my jumper off. And these lot are like, what are you talking about? And then we had a conversation about wellies. Nobody knows what a wellie is. That's a galosher, apparently. So Wellington boots are galoshes here. That was another complete... I really struggle in America.
We love
I really struggle. I am the which one now? I love macaroni cheese. I'm the token Englishman, and again a real. I'm living proof that you don't have to stay within your own country. There are, the West Coast is the Mecca as far as games publishers are concerned, but the UK and the rest of Europe and all over the world have huge games industries. It's not just limited to the West Coast. So set your sights high. If people need specialists in different countries, then don't just focus your efforts here. I'm here. If I can be here, you can be elsewhere too.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
So anyway, we want to use some key points, but everyone's, we gave 10 minutes exactly. We gave a lot of information to you guys, but some of the key things is recognize your expertise and focus. Is actually be honest with yourself. Like, what is it you want to do? It's kind of like you got to be laser focused. Like I want to go into graphics, I want to go into production, whatever it is, because that will give you some kind of track to follow. If you have too many, it's easy to get distracted, right? The other thing is research your leads. We talked about a bunch of different websites. If you're a developer, there's gdc.org, which is Game Developers Conference. That's something that has a lot of resources. I mean, actually, I just talked to some guy up at the booth, and he was just showing his portfolio, and I was telling him that Capcom's a publisher. We're like Sony Studios, whereas the independent movie companies, production companies, makes the movies. So he needs to talk to the development company that makes DMC, which is Ninja Theory, or Spark, which is Lost Planet 3. They're the ones who hire the creative people. But research your leads. The other thing we talked about was HR, right? So a lot of times, unfortunately, when a job is posted, it's kind of, the job's already taken. So you got to jump on that. Just bookmark. If there's certain companies you want to work with, just bookmark it, check it every day. Go straight to their HR listing, because it'll probably be listed there first before it's on Craigslist, Monster, or anything else. Networking. Network. It really is who you know, or who you know, or who you know. LinkedIn, Facebook, anything. You already heard a couple stories like Mike here, just talking to somebody in the most obscure way, right? We have, like I said, there's been many, many wonderful experiences where people that we have talked to 1 year, next year, or a year later, and they're already in the biz and they're helping other people. Seek a mentor. So the thing is, if you can find somebody in the business, that is a direct hit. But maybe if it's not in the business, seek somebody who has some life experiences, right? Somebody who is in very similar to what you're interested in, even if it's not directly in video games. The advice that they will give will help you save yourself from some of the pitfalls and accidents and waste of times that you would have done on your own. And then be proactive, just like Christine said. Yes, I can. Be brave. I too have my story, because when I started as the art director, I didn't know anything. I didn't know Photoshop. I could barely turn a Mac on, right? But I told them, yeah, sure, no problem. And then that first month, I was in there probably about midnight, 1 o'clock every single day, and they're like, wow, that guy's really working hard. What I was doing, I was reading the manual, trying to learn how to use Quark, trying to use Photoshop. Be brave, just go for it. It's like, unfortunately, nothing's going to be handed to you. But if you have the passion, follow your passion, that's what you need. Believe in yourself. Okay, so we're going to open up real quick some QA. We'll have a couple questions, maybe 5 or so. We have time for that.